We might just have to do this.
I started the recording. Mm.
Okay. Look, this is probably the best we're gonna get, even though it's creepy to have a light coming from your closet.
Ah, yes, the nightmare light. Alright, we ready for prologue? You get to do your fun voice, and I get to cry about how good you are at this.
Okay. You mean my narrator voice?
Yes.
Okay. Prologue. Part 1. Thousands of years ago, celestial beings made of an inky essence were born into this world through unknown means. They built a strong empire out of the magic that brought them to life, and found veins of this substance deep in the earth. They called it Ichor, or God's blood. They developed their society around the core and used it to create art and life. However, there was a darkness brewing in the bowels of the island. As the Ichor was alive, the blot emerged from the earth, creating entities who had souls darker than the night. A great war was waged against this being, but with their newfound magic, the celestial armies drew the darkness back, along with the rest of its spawn. Unfortunately, a curse befell the lands of ink, and their bodies grew uncontrollable and volatile. They called it the Blot's Curse. In an act to save everyone that still many question to this day, the celestial wizard, Yensig, gave up his magic and created a machine to purify the ichor deep within the veins and concentrate it into helping those of Inkwell. Thus, the golden era of reanimation, creating life, began, with the islands having new societies rise from the rubble. Toons created cities, towns, and houses, with Toontown at its very core. This period of peace did not last long, however. Greed overtook the Toons as the machines would provide anything they wanted. Many sought to have it all to themselves. This greed turned to a lust for power that divided the Toon. The instability caused by the crumbling society only reawakened Blot's curse. This ended the golden era of peace, and panic swept through the nation. Those affected by the blot sought out Mickey, the mayor of Toontown. Mickey, realizing he could not do this alone, started a new order within Inkwell. Toons were separated into factions, each led by the Stars, elected leaders that would perform parties to search for the fabled ink machine. This plan would lead to devastation. Many Toons were lost, and Inkwell was forever divided. What began as a search for a cure turned to their deadly competition, which ultimately led the Stars to retreat to their own guilds, locking themselves away from the deadly disease that ravaged their home. What the Stars didn't know was that the ink machine had been torn apart by the Celestials, with the main artifacts of the machine being divided among them. With no explanation, the Celestials disappeared. With no cure for the blot, Toons began to lose hope in their champions. Many have gone missing, and more succumbed to the blot. The rest are left to deal with the pieces they've been left behind. This is where our story began.
Let me check the recording real quick, make sure. Yeah, it's still working. Yay! It's not gonna die on me. Which means we
I
get
would
to
say,
go up.
okay, you paused. I would like stop the recording there and then we move on to parts